Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Nikki Anthony, and I'm excited to come to you with segment 4 of our Little Leaders Career Exploration Series. Super excited because we have a new career path that we're exploring tonight, and that is with a local actor who has done some really big projects that he'll be sharing about a little bit later. But his name is Sam Hunter, and so he's with us tonight to kind of share about his career path, how he landed in film and acting and production, and where his career path has taken him, some of the projects he's worked on, and just about his life. So parents tune in, grab some popcorn, grab all the kids that you can grab, and let's get started. But I do want to kind of share, I want to share our mission statement for this organization. Just to give you a little bit of background, if you're tuning in for the first time, of who we are as an organization, what we espouse, and why we exist. The mission of Little Hands, Big Hearts, Little People Service Organization is to develop little people and not so little people, parents, big siblings, aunties, uncles, grandparents, into servant leaders who think beyond themselves for the greater good through explicit and intentional opportunities for character development, selfless service to others, and community based volunteering. So, that is a little bit about us. And we're excited to kind of share this series with everyone. Just a little background about the series. We began this series during a pandemic, and the push behind it was to expose our children, our families, to different career paths from a representational stance. Um, that kids can look into, and also to help parents be prepared. So, what are some of the things that parents should be looking for in their student, that may lend itself to whatever the career path is? So, tonight, parents, if you think you have a potential actor on your hands, if you think you have a potential producer on your hands, a writer, please tune in. Make sure that you're listening for some of the things that Sam has to share, and we'll go from there. So I've shared a little bit about him, but Sam, I would love for you to tell everyone who you are, tell us where you're coming from, and we'll jump into our Q&A right after.
Sounds good. Hi, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to be here and talk to you. My name is Samuel Isaiah Hunter. I was born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. I moved to Orlando after high school. Went to Atlantic Coast High School. I went to Paxton at first, and I did 2 years at a community college. I was planning on going to the University of Central Florida, but then I wanted to get back into acting, and I ended up moving to LA. I started acting actually when I was 2 years old. My grandmother, she knew a casting director, and they had a commercial going on locally in Orlando, and I was just going to be an extra. While I was there, one of the kids who was in the lead, something ended up happening where I don't know they ended up not wanting to go with them anymore, and they liked my attitude and stuff like that. So I ended up getting switched out with the person who was originally the lead actor, and things snowballed from there. I started doing a lot of commercials and locally in Orlando, print work, which is basically like you'll do like I did something for like Nemours Hospital, and then they'll have you on the billboard and stuff like that locally in Orlando. I did national commercials that was shown around the world for like Disney and stuff like that. And when I got older and got back into acting, I started doing short films. I moved to Los Angeles to go to Stella Adler Academy of Acting. It's a really good program. I was actually one of the only black students there at the time, so I felt like this extra, like, okay, I gotta prove something. But luckily, like that was, I owe a lot to them. They're like legitimate family to me, and they gave me a scholarship, and because of that, I was able to afford to not only like live in LA longer, but also to do school at that program. While I was living out there, I booked my first big role for Universal Pictures. It was a horror movie that debuted on HBO Max, and I was in there with Ryan Destiny, who is famous from Star, and most notably recently she played the boxer Clarissa Shields in I want to say Flint Strong because that's always what it's called, but that's what it was originally called. It's called The Fire Inside. And since then, I did a short film called Don't Blink, which another big studio picked up. It's called Focus Features. And that ended up going viral on TikTok, on YouTube, and Instagram and everything. And that really opened a lot of doors for me as well. I've done theater plays and stuff like that. And yeah, I just wrote and co-produced my first short film, and I have another full-length film that I'm currently working on, that I'm writing now, and I'll probably be announcing that towards the end of the year. Yeah, yeah,
Wow. So you have a lot going on.
yeah. A lot at one time. Yeah.
So, first question, we'll jump into our questions. What were some of your hobbies that you engaged in as a child that kind of contributed and lent itself to you becoming an actor and moving in this direction as far as your career?
Um, So, because it was crazy because it was like the opposite. Like I started acting and then I started discovering hobbies that crazy enough, like ended up helping me progress as an actor. There's this quote by Stella Adler that says like life as an actor and like growth as an actor and growth as a human being are the same. Like they're synonymous. So me, like I did Taekwondo, I did creative writing classes, I did like chess club and stuff like that, and being in those different environments, meeting so many different people, literally it opened my mind, and I wasn't closed minded when it became time to be on set and have these new experiences. I didn't go on like a Disney set and be like, oh well, I've never been around this group of people before. I feel like alienated or I feel uncomfortable. It's like no, like I can go around any group of people. I can go around any belief system. I can go around anything, any environment, and feel at home and feel open minded and comfortable. And it was because my mom like really pushed for me to be in chess, be in taekwondo, be in all these different environments and professions and backgrounds. So I think just like I don't know, just doing a little bit of everything, to be honest, just helped me grow as an actor.
I love that. So it made you definitely well-rounded, and I would
Mm,
imagine it gives you a broader, in the education realm, we call it schema. Like you have a lot to bring to the table from different things that you participate. So does all of that maybe keeping your student in different activities that kind of expand their horizons, open their mind, teach them to think a different way other than maybe mainstream? All of that you think contributes to, um, like you said, bringing about this person that's an actor. You said they, your humanity, I think, and your actor's life kind of grow synonymously or grow together. Okay,
yeah, thousand
I
percent.
love it. So, what skills do you think is are important for parents to look for or identify in their child if they seem to be showing proclivities towards acting or writing or film production? What are some of the things that parents should be looking for?
I think one thing that's always been interesting to me. I used to work at the YMCA with kids and stuff like that, and just seeing how kids retell an event that I literally witnessed myself was always interesting. And I think that that's an underrated skill. I think that like if there's 10 kids and we all witness the same thing happen, it could be literally anything. It could be somebody driving by and the car had yellow rims or something and no one's really seen yellow rims. And then that kid will go home and say, "Mom, I saw this car with yellow rims and Johnny ran by and he was like, I've never seen yellow rims." And just seeing how they like retell a story and seeing how animated they get and seeing how they like add certain pauses before they talk, just little things like that, you could kind of get a sense that, oh, this person might actually be a creative person on set, because those are the same skills that you always keep. You could have 10 different people witness the same thing, but if one person has the unique interesting perspective on that same event, that is the person that people want to hear from. And I think another thing is like empathy. A lot of times like kids will like either stand up for somebody else that they see might be getting bullied or treated differently or something like that, or they'll come to you and like vent about, I heard this kid or this mom might be going through this situation, and they have that heart, that empathy. That takes a lot, because stepping into somebody else's shoes as an actor takes empathy. And then just being able to listen in a conversation, like if you really see like you're talking with your kid, and you see them like actively listening, not just listening to interrupt or like say something, but like listening to understand what you're saying. That's a huge thing, because being able to take direction kind of goes hand in hand with that. And you're on set as an actor, you're talking to a director who wants to make sure you understand something. You have to really be listening, and not just listening to say, "Oh, I get it," but listening to really understand it wholeheartedly. So I think if you could kind of find those three or four things within your child, that it might point to a long career in entertainment and acting and stuff.
I love it. So I heard retelling. I put them in the chat. Retelling. I heard empathy. I heard active listening. These are the traits and skills that you encourage parents. All right.
Hmm.
Anything else? Are we good there?
I think that's about it for that one.
You
Yeah.
good? Okay. So did you ever think that you would become an actor as a child, or did you start off wanting to maybe do something different, engineering or education or sports, or and then acting just kind of took over?
I think it started off as like, because when I started when I was young, it started off as like me not really seeing any other life except for acting. And then because I started acting from ages around 2 to 11, and then I just kind of fell out of that life and started finding other interests. And at that point, I started seeing myself be like a sports agent or playing basketball. I didn't really know what was going to happen. And as I got older, I wanted to get back into acting, but for some reason I kind of convinced myself there, like, what would I even do? What would be the first step? And I thought it was impossible until I just kind of just took that leap of faith. So I think around like age 19, that's when I started seeing myself as a sports agent and not really as an actor or anything. And then at 20, that's when it was like, okay, let's lean into this. And ever since then, I'm 30 now, so it's crazy. It's been 10 years, but ever since then, I really haven't seen myself doing anything else other than what I'm doing now.
I love it. So I want to ask you this kind of off the fly. Um, your your most favorite movie or scene or actor, actress that you worked with so far. Who is that? What is that? Kind of enlighten us.
I think definitely the person that always comes to mind, I'm gonna shout her name out forever, is Ryan Destiny, from Star and from The Fire Inside. I worked with her on Oracle, the horror feature film. She just like when you're they call it number one on the call sheet. That's the person who is basically the lead of the film. They basically set the tone for everything. Like everyone watches how you do everything because it like they feed off of your energy. And she just showed up feeling like everybody's cousin, sister, or something like that. And she carried the weight of this multi-million-dollar film on her back. If she doesn't, this doesn't work with her, it doesn't work. But she didn't. You didn't feel that. You didn't feel that pressure. And I think that like that taught me a lot moving forward about how I should act, God willing, whenever I'm in the same position as her.
Do you have a favorite genre that you prefer? It seems like I've seen a lot of horror. Is that by design, or those are the movies that open up, or what? Do you have a favorite genre?
I
Is
I
that
think I
it?
think I think psychological thrillers and horrors are my favorite. I think if I had to point to like the film of what I really love is like Sinners with Michael B. Jordan recently, just because it was so entertaining. Like you would not mind paying money to go see it, and then it was just so deep. There was so many layers in the film that made you really sit back and watch. And then like you're also there's scary stuff happening, which is just fun to me in general. So I definitely think horror, this specific type of horror that Sinners is like something that I really like.
Okay. Do you ever take it home with you? Like, does it stay at the studio? Does it play with your mind? I just always wonder about that. Like, someone who I used to watch horror films, I don't do it too much now, but it just seemed like it. And maybe that's just the markings of a really good film when it's like you're constantly thinking about it, or, it doesn't stay at the movie.
Uh, I think I agree. I think it is the markings of a good film. I think you definitely have to be aware of like what affects you, because yeah, sometimes you can go see a movie and it like you might have nightmares or something like that, which I don't know if that's good or bad. I would say probably not the best thing in the world, but I think acting wise, I've definitely learned how to like trust myself to. There's a lot of technique involved, but trust yourself to really like dive deep into something, and then once you leave, just shake it out and let it go.
Okay, another impromptu question. Do you have a role that has pulled, or what role has pulled on your acting abilities the most of all the ones that you've done?
Um, man, I think maybe. Let me see. I think maybe actually it was something that I did in class. I think yeah, the class like the stuff that I did in class has probably pulled on my acting abilities the most. There was an exercise that we did, two exercises. One where we had to play someone who was like unhoused and everything, and just like having the empathy to be able to understand like how someone could get to the point where they have no other options, and they might not have anywhere to go. And that was like a really sad thing to dive into. But then there was another thing of like we call it the garden exercise, and basically you're having this conversation with somebody that you love for like 15 minutes, while underneath you are carrying the weight of like trying to figure out the best moment in the conversation to tell them a heartbreaking thing that happened to someone that they care about. And also, the props are imaginary. Like there's literally, you're just on the stage by yourself. But they teach you how to sharpen your mind's eye to the point where you use your five senses, like how to smell, touch, and everything, to where there's no rose here, but you could really feel the rose. I don't know why they just did. You could feel the rose, you could smell the rose and stuff like that. And that garden exercise was insanely hard. It's like it's the last exercise you do in that class because it's the hardest one. And I think to this day, I don't think I've ever had anything as hard as that. That was crazy.
Wow. So if by chance we have a little time at the end, can you think of maybe an exercise you can walk us through for the parent that has a little actor on their hands that maybe they can practice with them?
I
So
got
you
you.
be thinking on that, and then when we get to the end, if you haven't thought on, that's fine. We can share it later if you come up with something.
Okay.
So, what communication skills are required to effectively function as someone who is an actor or a producer or a writer, whatever position you want to speak from? What communication skills should that person have?
I think being able to, something I learned just recently too, working as like behind the camera this time, really being able to communicate your vision. You could have this whole idea about what you want. You could see I see dragons flying. I don't know, like in your mind, it's a lot more clear than it is to other people. So like you and I could be having a conversation, and I could say, "Yeah, I just envisioned the dragon flying and then doing a backflip." And then and I'm like, "Can you go draw that for me?" And when you go to draw it, it looks completely different how I imagined it. And I can't be frustrated with you if you drew something that was different than what I said because I didn't communicate it clearly enough. And I think just really understanding how to communicate your vision is important. Um, and then also, you deal with so many people like that. You might be on set talking to like 60 different people in any day. So being able to have conversations and listen to what each person is saying, and kind of remember it is important. Which, I mean, no one's perfect. Some days you might not remember anything anybody said, but yeah, it gets to that.
So I heard communication skills, ability to communicate your vision clearly and effectively so that the
Mm.
person who's receiving it can understand and bring it to life. All right.
Yeah.
Active listening again. So listening is very important. That's not just as an actor, but also just as a human being and being in a relationship with people. Active listening, and then being able to remember, and I would imagine apply whatever it is that you're remembering, whether it's to learn a new skill or whatever. You got to be able
Hmm.
to remember it, right?
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
I love those. I love those. Okay, so what was your favorite? I think you kind of hinted at it, but favorite subjects in school. Do you think it was an indicator of your current profession?
You know what's crazy? I did like, I mean, I wish I would have done like some like type of drama high school or something like that. But I didn't realize until like a couple months ago, my mom just like dumped all these creative writing awards in my lap, and I'm like, what the heck is this? And then so it was from first grade. It was from first grade, my creative writing class, and it was like for stories that I just completely made up. Um, and yeah, I had all these like awards, and I'm like, oh my, now it makes sense. I mean, now it makes sense why now I'm getting into writing now. And I've always had like this imagination where like I'll be working at the movie theater, and while we're cleaning the rows, I'm talking to my coworker, and I'm like, just imagine this would happen and imagine this would happen. But I never realized that was like that was kind of like a direct connection to how I grew up as a kid. I was just this person where I'm always imagining these crazy scenarios, and then I would write them in creative writing classes, and I would get rewarded for them. But now I'm a little bit older, and you don't get a chance to express that as much. But now I found this avenue where I can express it because I'm actually writing scripts about it, and it's very fulfilling. And I never really saw myself as a writer like that. I always saw myself as strictly an actor. But yeah, like I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's crazy now to see this full circle moment from being a kid to now being where I'm at now.
So, what were some of the things that you, if you can remember back, that not that far, I'm way older than you, but remembering back to your childhood, being a creative writer, because I'm a writer as well, and there
Mhm.
is the same, like I had the same thing, that imagination that was very big, very vivid, very wild, and always journaling, always writing. I have awards to my credit as well for writing, you know. So what were some of the things that your mom or your community, your circle did to encourage the writer in you, to pull those imagination out of you, those imaginative thoughts and all of that? What did they do for the parent who's looking, and they may see that their child, you know, oh, she loves to write, oh, she loves to create stories, or he loves to draw and animate and all this stuff. What are some of those things that they can do or that your parents did to help you?
My mom, she luckily because I've seen the opposite of this, where some parents kind of I don't think they do it out of like being malicious, but they kind of being an adult is hard. So and then being a parent is even harder. So you're dealing with so much stuff. It's like your kid comes up to you. You're so used to being like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll look at it later. But really challenging yourself to pause for a second and like give them attention and be like, wait, what are you talking about? Oh, okay, interesting. Because that's what my mom did. And then she would go like get me like a folder or a binder. Like I used to trace a lot. She would give me all of these things to just let me run wild in my room by myself. Or like when I was even smaller, she would get me like a phone, like a play phone, and I would just be in the room like acting out phone calls and stuff like that. And I think that all of that really helped me to where I'm at today. Like feel I don't know. Because I feel like if you don't have those moments as a kid, when you get older, it's hard. It's way harder for you to kind of let go and just be like, you know what, I'm gonna write in a journal today. If you didn't really do it growing up. So yeah, if you're a parent, definitely just get them all the journals. If they have a favorite movie, rent it for them. Just like be that cheerleader for them. And I feel like it's gonna make a huge difference.
I love that. Love, love, love. Shout out to your mom.
Yeah, I think she's probably
she
watching
was
now too.
she was pouring into you. Awesome, awesome. So, what character traits do you think are necessary for your profession? I've heard you mention empathy a couple times, and I this was a connection I made. Empathy, so that you can feel a role, feel it, and embody it. You know, especially if it's a harder role, right? But are there any more? Your mom says she is here.
Oh, that's funny.
Shout
Hello.
out to you. And it's Miss Vanessa. Shout out
Yeah.
to you. So what are some character traits that you think are necessary for your profession?
Um, I think I think being like diligent, um, and I'm losing the word. It's a simple word too. Diligent and just like consistent. Um, and I say that because it's like I grew up as an athlete as well, playing basketball. I box now, and I was able to take some of the same principles, especially if there's a kid who, I know a lot of kids grow up playing sports too. They'll be able to translate this over. And what I mean by that is like when I was shooting Don't Blink, people don't know you're shooting 12 hours a day, and not only that, at minimum, and not only that, we were shooting overnight. So we would get there at 6 p.m. and leave at 6 a.m. And if I would have a very specific schedule, I would go shoot from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., come home, take a nap, wake up, go to the gym, eat a very specific thing, and then go in and then do the whole thing over again. And if one of those days I was just like, which is fine, but if one of those days I was just like, you know what, today I'm gonna go to the gym and play tennis and go to the movies before we go to set. By the time you get to set, you're gonna be falling asleep halfway through set in the takes and stuff like that. So really having the ability to just be very diligent and sacrifice just for a short amount of time will go a long way. You'll have better work. You'll feel better on set. You'll be a better colleague to the people around you, and you'll be happy with your work afterwards. So yeah, just being able to be very diligent with the things that you do and very consistent.
So I'm gonna try and fill in the blanks. You tell me if these are okay. I heard diligence, consistency. My takeaway: regimented and
Mhm.
organized as far as your schedule, and then maybe goal oriented.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's it. Yep.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna throw those in the chat. And we have a comment that one of our students, Cam, is watching, and she's eating up every word. And she is just a joy. Like her personality, I can definitely see her on screen. She has a really big personality, excellent speaking skills, a leader in every way. So Cam, keep watching, and I want you to let me know what your favorite part of tonight is.
All
All
right.
right. So what are the educational requirements or certifications? You talked about going to school, and I think a lot of people kind of see in the world of YouTube, like it looks like, one viral moment is all it takes, right?
Oh
But
yeah.
on the other end, you're sitting here telling us to become an actor. You moved away for your educational piece, which was at, I think you said Stella something
Yep. Stella
school,
Adler.
Stella Adler School, and that there were classes because you said this is the last exercise that you learned to do. So y'all built up to these different, classes to pull out these different skills. So, what are the educational requirements, the certifications? What are some things that parents can do now? Maybe community theater or acting class, anything. What would you recommend now for parents also?
I think acting is probably one, not only profession, but one of the only ones where it's like you don't necessarily need anything, but you definitely should because it's not fun. It genuinely is not fun to go on set and just be in the middle of a take, realizing that you have to get somewhere in terms of like the emotion of a scene or something, and legit like have no idea how to do it. And that's why school and classes are important because you can obviously become like an Oscar winner, multi-winning person, whatever, without the school. But a lot of times, what will happen is you might have an amazing film, have an amazing take, but that happens because of your raw instinctual talent, which is harder to tap into if you don't have the skill that allows you to get to those places, not one time randomly and luckily, but like 50 times if you need to. So I think just genuinely doing as many classes as you can, finding the ones that really teach you. I've been to like so many classes. I don't even know how many, maybe like 100 different classes over my life. And I finally, at my big age of like 30 now, and I was 28 when I found this class, I finally found one that I'm like, oh my goodness, this is the one that I connect with the most. So I think just like continuing to uh take as many classes as you possibly can. Yeah, I think that's definitely the thing that would help you have a long career.
I love it. Did you
Mhm.
ever do like church plays or anything like that? I was a
I
church play kid. Like I always had a feature in a church play when I was growing up, and I loved it. Shout out Val Escara. That was my acting coach.
that was that in Jacksonville?
uh
Oh, that's okay. That's
She's
cool.
an excellent writer. I'll have to connect you to her. Excellent, excellent writer.
Thank
Yes.
you. I definitely would love to. Yeah, I don't remember. I think I might have. I can't remember if I did. It was probably when I was a lot younger. Yeah, yeah. I wish. I don't know. I gotta ask my mom. It was probably when I was a lot younger. Like I did probably did something church play involved. But yeah, it was just random. Like I did like what I do. I did theater more so when I got older. When I was younger, it was a lot of commercials and stuff like that. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So we see like huge actors like Denzel and Michael B. Jordan. For our students specifically, how would you encourage them? Those people aren't big names just because. I would imagine they hone their craft.
Right.
So, can you encourage our students on what it is to hone your craft? If it's acting, whatever it is, it could be basketball, it could be whatever, but the importance of really digging in. If you say this is what you want to do, of being committed to it and really, really digging in, and how I guess kind of pair that with education, because I would imagine it's not a one and done. You said you've been in hundreds of classes.
Mhm.
So, just kind of talk to us about that and walk our students through what it looks like to hone your craft and to commit and to indulge in what it is you say you want to do.
There, it's it's a lot. So I'll start by saying this. Like, if someone were to see in a script where it says like the person goes and makes a cup of coffee, a lot of people would mistakenly think, "Oh, that's the easiest thing in the world. I can do that." And we all make cups of coffee. We make our Cheerios with the milk and stuff like that. And we're in our kitchen by ourselves. We're singing our favorite song. We're thinking about what we're gonna do later. That's easy when you're by yourself. But then when you put 50 people in front of you and they have a camera and a boom microphone to be over you and capture your audio, your body naturally tenses up. It's like a defense mechanism. It's just human nature. So if you're not actively going to these classes that teach you how to master being a human while being watched, it's going to be a lot harder to do those things that may seem simple. So I think that, like, continuing to watch interviews on YouTube from your favorite actors, continuing to watch your favorite movies. Another underrated thing is watch a movie or a scene with the volume off and like really observe their behavior. You'll notice so many things, and just ask yourself, do I believe this person? Do I believe what they're saying? Do I believe that they believe that they're this person? If you say no, like, why? Try to figure out why. And then just start reading scripts. Just have them. There's so many scripts online. I would say like you can find like 70% of scripts. So if they have a favorite movie, no matter what it is, just Google, like for me, I would type in center script PDF and then just read the script. So now it's interesting, like you're watching the movie and then you're reading the scripts, and now they're seeing what the actors saw when they were preparing for the role. And just realizing that, you know acting is not just acting, as crazy as that sounds or weird as that sounds, but it's like there's so much that goes into it. You have to take like voice classes, you have to take movement classes, because you have to understand there's so many different things. Like, even in just a movement class, you learn how people carry tension in their body. If you're walking, I don't know, you're walking anywhere and you accidentally bump into somebody, there might be a part of you that is like either annoyed that you bumped into them and they bumped into you, or like you're like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And your body starts tensing up. Eventually, after a lifetime of those tense moments, the tension will start pulling your bones in certain directions, and that's how you get people with certain postures. And so going to movement classes to understand how to make yourself configure to that is important, and it's never as just simple as it seems. When you see someone on screen, you're like, "Oh, that's so cool, that's got to be easy." It's an easy scene. There's just so much that goes into it.
I love it. Love, love, love it. So, my teacher mind kicked in while you were talking about the different skills that you learned and all of that. So, I want to share this with parents. If you have a struggling reader, I I worked in special education for 14 years. And one of the things that I did to help my students develop comprehension skills was something called reader's theater. And reader's theater sounds like what you described earlier. Like, there are no formal props. Like, literally, if I say, oh, we are going to, I don't know, get in the car, as part of the script, I grab whatever is closest to me and this turns into my steering wheel. So it's really impromptu, but you have a script and it teaches the student to visualize. It teaches the student to read without, I call it robot reading. So to read with fluency and, voice inflections, all of that. It teaches them to read for clues on how they're supposed to act. So, parents, that's a skill that acting can help develop in your student if they're a struggling reader, or even if they just want to become an even greater reader than what they already are. Comprehension is definitely something that a lot of students struggle in. So, I would say try Reader's Theater. You can put that in Google, find easy scripts according to their reading level, and go from there and watch them develop. My kids loved it, and I started to see how much they would grow in just doing little scripts. You know, the fat cat went such and such. I want you to be the cat. You're going to be this. You're going to be that. And just watch them bring it all alive. So that one's a freebie, but it goes along with what Sam was saying as far as developing your skills and whatnot. Right.
I
So
definitely, yeah.
let's talk about mentorship or supporters. Do you have any mentors that have kind of guided you in your journey of becoming who we see before us today? If so, you can share the name unless you don't feel comfortable. And any advice that they have given you that's really helped to guide you along your path.
I have a couple that come to mind, and I also just wanted to say really quick what you said was so true. I think that it honestly starts with the reading comprehension, because when you get a script, you have to be able to break down what you think is going on. And if you can't, everything from that just becomes a huge uphill battle. Like, you have to be able to do that. So I definitely wanted to piggyback off of that really quick. Um, and I think I have a couple. There's three or four people that come to mind. The first one I met randomly in Orlando. I haven't seen him to this day. But it was this guy who like was going around the country, um, speaking at schools, and I don't even know how we struck a conversation, but it ended up getting deep. And he was just talking about how, like, just to always keep in mind that success doesn't equal fulfillment. And he was just telling me that, like, no matter where you go in your acting journey, no matter how many awards you win, no matter what success looks like to you, that doesn't automatically mean that you're going to feel good and fulfilled and like you're doing your life's purpose. And just to be aware of it, because it's easy to chase success thinking that's going to be the thing that's going to make you happy. So I think that always stuck with me. Literally met him when I was 19, getting back into acting. So that stuck with me. Jaka Soiree, she is a very accomplished actor and a producer, and I had her. I don't know why I didn't mention this until just now. I had her as a mentor in the short film lab that I was a part of. It got our short film and everything got announced on the Jennifer Hudson show. We were one of 10 semifinalists for that and everything, and she's given me a lot of advice. And not she's not really my personal mentor, but I've just been around her a lot. And Angie Nixon, she's from Jacksonville, state representative Angie Nixon. I've had several conversations with her, and just seeing how she just like walks through life unapologetically, um, and just like bold, like, you know what I mean. It's really made an impact. And okay, this is the last one. My friend, from LA. We were in a play together, and she's been in like Shrek and Chronicles of Narnia and stuff like that. And we were doing a play together, and she told me, because I have a tendency to be a people pleaser and trying to like be like super polite sometimes, which is great to be super polite. I'm not saying be rude, but like when you're acting in a play or something, some before the play starts, you might need a moment to go away by yourself and really prep and whatnot. And she was like, don't feel like you have to be out here shaking everybody's hands and laughing and stuff. Like, take that moment to be yourself, and it's okay. If people are upset with you about it, that's on them. As long as you're not rude to anybody, like, that's on them. And ever since then, I've been okay with like going to the side and taking a moment and being by myself and doing what I need to do and preparing. And it's made a huge difference. When it's time to, like, I don't know, go out on the stage or for the camera to start rolling and stuff.
Okay, impromptu question. Do you have an actor or actress that you are waiting to work with? Like this person, if y'all could have a film together, like that would be the pinnacle of your career.
Let me think. Let me think. There's a couple people. Kelvin Harrison Jr. Kelvin Harris Jr. I think it is Kelvin Harrison Jr. He's in the new Hunger Games coming up, and he was in this movie called Waves that was really good. Um, I know it's crazy to say, but Billie Eilish, I always thought that she was going to be a good actor, and I saw her in the show, and I said I knew it, and I would love to work with Billie Eilish. Yahya Abdul Mateen the second or the third, I think his name is, and Daniel Kaluuya, who was famously in the movie Get Out, but he was in movies like Judas and the Black Messiah and other movies. One more, John Boyega, and maybe Meryl Streep. I don't even know how I would act if I was on set with Meryl Streep. I'm actually scared, to be honest. Like that's like me being a musician and be like, yeah, I'm in the studio with Drake or something like that. Like that's I don't know.
Oh, that's a really diverse list.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Meryl Streep, John Boyega. He's a really good actor. I like him.
Yeah,
I
me
like
too.
him. Okay. You said Daniel Koala,
Yeah.
and that is I can't think of his name from Black Panther, but he
Yep.
was Okoye's husband in Black Panther
Yeah.
and
Viola
Blackest
Davis
Night.
too. Viola Davis is really good too.
Oh
That's another one.
yes. Yes, yes, yes. That's the queen. Go girl. All
Yeah,
right. You
best.
have a really diverse list. I love it. Okay. So what's one thing you wish people knew about your profession?
That it's not all like glitz and glamour. I mean, you hear people say that a lot, but it's just genuinely not. Like it's you hear a lot of no's. You hear I'm talking about a lot of no's. I don't even know how many things I've auditioned for in the last couple years, and I've heard like a majority of no's, and that's not like a unique experience. All of my friends get a lot of no's. Um, I think that's one of the biggest things of like being knowing that you're gonna hear a lot of no's with the auditions, and you're gonna have to make a lot of uncomfortable sacrifices. Like I've flown to LA and back in the same day and then went to work the next day, and I had to fly to LA and back because I had to do an audition. Got home late at night to do another audition, and then woke up to go work with the kids at the YMCA. So like, and that's again, that's not a unique thing. That's kind of common to just like have to do these crazy things. So it's not all fun and games. It is a lot of work. It is fun at the same time, but just knowing that I don't know, just seeing like the Met Gala and stuff like that, that's kind of like that's like a one-off thing. It's a lot of like down dirty work, but if you really do love the acting and stuff like that, it's going to be fun, a fun process.
All right, and we're coming to the end.
Mm.
I've really enjoyed this conversation. This is very different. This is the first time we have looked at this specific career path. So thank you for making it a great first experience. Um, how would you encourage a parent? I think we kind of dabbled in this one, but how would you encourage a parent of a child that's interested in acting and film production and writing? How would you encourage them? What are some ways that I think you answered this one? What are some ways that parents can support? If you could think of anything else, feel free to share that to support their child's vision if this is something they think they want to do.
I would say depending on what it is, like really lean in. So if they want to be a filmmaker in any capacity, buy them a little camera, even if it's like a little GoPro or a phone that's specifically for shooting. I've heard a lot of stories about filmmakers who are big now who were kids making their own little movies in their living room with their brother or sister and then like forcing their parents to watch it, on the TV in the living room later, downloading iMovie or CapCut now, and walking them through like, okay, let's write our own story or whatnot. It doesn't even have to be a full script, but let's write our story. We're gonna shoot it in our living room in the backyard. We'll go walk by Publix and shoot a scene, and then we'll edit it in CapCut, and then we'll watch it. We'll have a mini premiere with our family members in the living room. Just that whole process in itself, I feel like gets their brain spinning. The process of like coming up with a story, shooting it, knowing how to edit it, and then having that premiere, that starts forming those neural pathways of like the real life pattern of how it works when you get into entertainment. That's literally this exact same thing, just on a bigger level. Um, and then like getting them directors' books or like they have at the library those really big books, where it's like behind the scenes stuff of like how something was shot, and they could see the picture from how it was in the film and the notes underwards. You could read it to them or explain it back to them. And on YouTube, you could type in pretty much any movie title and then say behind the scenes, and that would do a lot for them. Just watching the behind the scenes of how a real film set moves, I think it all starts like planting these seeds and getting them used to how movies work and how film sets work. And so when it's time for them to really step into that moment, they'll be ready for it.
That's great. Great information. So you have a comment. Shout out Cameron's mom shared that Cameron's favorite part that you shared earlier, a tip, was to turn off the volume on the TV and watch for the emotions of the actor and begin to interpret that. So thank you for that one. And I have one more question. Have you thought about maybe an exercise we can do? And I'll be the example. I might not be good at it, but I'll be the example if you can think of one. And if
Uh,
not, we can share it later also.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. Okay, okay. Well, I mean, there's two things I can think of. Like one, tongue twisters. They're underrated. I'm sure you probably do them as well. Like they're an underrated way to get warmed up. Um, like the either that or closing your eyes and really imagining something specific. That helps your mind. But I think tongue twisters are fun. Like imagine an imaginary menagerie managing an imaginary menagerie, or like New York, you need, that's a famous one. New York, you know New York, you need New York. You need unique New York. So I think like that is like for one, it helps you get out of your head before you do like any type of scene. And then the other thing is it helps warm up your mouth and your tongue and get your jaw a little bit loose. So like let's see if I can copy. Actually, you know what? If you can go to Google and type in David Gordon vocal warm up, that whole entire sheet is what I use. Vocal warm up.
Let me let me see if I can. I need you to tell me if I'm still on camera while I'm doing this. Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. Can you still
Yeah,
see me?
yeah, I can still see you.
David, who?
Here we go. David Gordon's vocal warm up. I'm also gonna here we go. I just pasted it in the chat on our thing right here. You could click that link.
Okay.
And then so like let's see, should saucy sharks seek shelter soon? I think this one will be fun. The skunk thought the stump stunk. The stump thought the skunk stunk. So like saying this, something like that. The skunk thought the stump stunk. The stump thought the skunk stunk. Like those type of like tongue twisters really help.
Okay. I I'm gonna do the one I know. How
Okay.
much wood could a woodchuck chuck if woodchuck couldn't chuck wood? That's what
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
can share them. We'll share them. Share the website on our pages, and then we'll also, if you have one in particular that you would recommend, that's a fun one. All of them sound pretty fun. You
Mm.
said New York unique, da 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 da. Da. So we'll share that one, and maybe we'll challenge people to do a video and post it.
Oh, that would actually be really fun. That would be
And
cool.
you can judge the responses if they share. You can judge
Okay,
them
that
and tell
sounds good.
them, yeah. All right. So y'all have a challenge from a real live actor. We've got a real live actor, guys. So
Yeah.
last question.
Mm.
Last question. What insights have you gained about yourself over your journey of becoming this stellar actor that you're turning into?
I think definitely that I'm more resilient than I thought I was, because right when I'm getting to the moment when I'm the most frustrated, when I'm genuinely not just saying it, throwing a fit, but genuinely like, you know what, I'm just gonna give this thing up. Something in me kicks in, and it's like, okay, we can take one more step. We can take one more step, another step, and through the rejection, through the disappointments and stuff like that, you start learning you like the human body and just the human brain is capable of really pushing past whatever limits you think that you have. You whatever limit you think you have, it doesn't exist. You can other than like legitimately flying. Like you can push past it. You got this, and you're way stronger and more capable than you think you are.
I'm gonna ask you to say what you just said, repeat it. On my end, it was a little
Oh,
glitchy, but if you could say it one more time so we can hear all of it. I heard the
yeah.
very end of it.
I think just I've realized that I'm more capable of doing things than I thought I was. When I've been the most frustrated, wanting to give up, uh, something in me kicked in and just like walked that extra step, and then the next step, and then the next step. And so just realizing that the human body, the human brain, and you yourself in general are just capable of much more than you think. And like other than like legitimately like flying or something like that, you can do pretty much anything.
Love it, love it. Thank you. So we have one. My mommy told me to mash my mini M&Ms on a Monday morning. Ooh, ah.
Okay, my homie told you how to match
But
my.
you have to do a video, Paula or Cam. You have to do a video and submit it to see if it gets how Sam rates your performance. So you
This is
can
an
share
interesting
video
one.
with us.
I'm down.
So this is that was the last question that I have. If someone wanted to get in contact with you, or how can people stay connected? If they had a question, if a student had a question, is there a way to get in contact with you? Any social media handles that we can share?
Yeah, so my Instagram is Samuel I Hunter. Right here. I don't know if they can see that. Can they? And
I'm
then
putting
the
it in the chat. You're good.
okay, and then my email is this. This is my production company email, but I send this rather than like my personal one because it's easier for me to like see them if they come in. That's
Absolutely.
that's an email address that you can reach me through. So either the Instagram or the email.
Okay. Say a beaver's dream at Gmail. Can you talk really quickly, share about the film? It was something with Black History here in Jacksonville. Can you talk about, because you're a part of that, right?
Yeah, I was part of they invited me to do a panel on like the history of black filmmakers in Jacksonville because a lot of people didn't know that like Jacksonville used to be like the Hollywood of the South, quote unquote.
Mhm.
And I got a chance to just talk about the short film that I was co-producing with a couple friends of mine. And it's in a short film lab competition where the five finalists I'm in the 10 semifinalists, but the five finalists get to go to Chicago and have their film shown at the Obama Center. And yeah, it's a psychological thriller. It's another one of those horrors and whatnot. It's a crazy thing, but it had to have a healing aspect of being like racial healing and being able to watch it and hopefully come away inspired or motivated in some way. So yeah, that was what that film was going to be, and then after that, I'm gonna do a feature film that's going to be something different. But yeah, I can't wait to share that one. But yeah, that was what that was for, and it was cool. I got a chance to be around a lot of other black filmmakers from Jacksonville who are doing great things.
Love it. Thank you. So keep us posted as if you have scenes that we can share. We have a younger audience at times. So if you
Yeah.
have things that you can share that we can share with our audience, I'm more than willing for them to see you live and in action. If you have any shows that you recommend to parents, to students only, to families, do you have anything you want to share where they can check you out, check your work out?
Um, you know what I'm gonna do? Because I think like most of my stuff is on YouTube and Instagram. I mean, my Oracle is on Hulu. You can just type in Oracle on Hulu and it'll come up. But I can put together a I could just send you. I can email you my reel if you want to show them, and that doesn't
Absolutely.
have. I'll make sure that there's only one scene where it's like I don't know if kids should see that. It's just like me yelling and stuff like that. But yeah, I can send you the reel without that scene, and so you can
Absolutely.
show it to them.
Okay. Paula, don't worry about sending it here, just a video. You can text it or send it in our group, and
Yep.
I will post it, and Sam will get back to you with feedback.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
definitely down.
So that is the end. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We did have a technical difficulty on Facebook, so I'll have to upload it to Facebook, but it will be there shortly, and it will be added to TikTok and to Instagram as well. So feel free to share it. You have all the ways that you can get in contact with Sam if you have any questions, or just to show him love. I want to take a moment to say congratulations. He was
Thank you.
recently married, I think last weekend.
Yep.
He has been really, really busy in the top 4 months of this year. So congratulations
Mm,
to him and his wife. Um, and he made time
thank
to
you.
join us. So I'm really appreciative and grateful for you being with us tonight. I think that's about it. We have Serve Day coming up next month. We have our Future Forward Honor Celebration in June. So, parents, keep that on your radar. Sam, you will be invited. You're
Oh,
local,
thank
so
you.
we would love for you to come, you and your wife to come join us. And this is where we highlight the achievements of our students who are burgeoning servant leaders, learning to serve in the community with love, kindness, dignity, and respect. Highlight our community partners, of which you are one. So, we would love for you to come and share with us. We may even have you to share a few words about your experience in dealing with us as an organization. So, parents, put that on your radar, on your calendar, and more information will be forthcoming very, very soon because I want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to plan accordingly and be there. Do you have any final words for us?
Then just thank you for having me. This has been really fulfilling and genuinely fun, and I would definitely love to come in person and hang out with y'all. So just let me know when everything is. But I appreciate you for this, and thank you for thinking of me.
Absolutely. So, on that note, we're going to sign off. Thank you all for joining us. Please, when you see it online, hit the share button to share it with any friends or families that you think might benefit from the information that we shared tonight. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening and a wonderful night. Not night, but a wonderful week. And good night, everybody.
Bye, y'all. Good night.